Hello and welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, I'll be talking to you about forking a repo. What is a fork? A fork is basically a copy of a repository. Why is a repo forked? A repo basically can be forked for several reasons. One of them is for experimentation, so you can fork someone else's repo and experiment with it freely. When you fork a repo, the changes you make to the repo does not affect the original project. Forking a repo can be used to make proposed changes to someone else's project and help them improve on that project. Also, forking a repo can give you some ideas. If you have an idea, by forking a repo, you can use that project as a base for your own idea. Forking a repo can be used to propose bug changes. So if you find bugs in someone's project, you can fork the repo and make the fix, and then you can submit a pull request to the project owner. If the project owner likes your work, they might pull your fix into the original repository. Hello and welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, I will walk you through how to fork a repo. Forking a repo is very straightforward. So once you find the repository you're trying to fork, you just browse to the top on the, like this is my sample repository. So if you go right to the top right hand corner, you should see a sign that says fork. So if you look, there is the tooltip says fork your own copy of this. So it knows that I own this repository, hence it's saying fork your own copy. So if I click on fork, that's basically it. So we have just forked a repository. It's also a good idea to keep the forked copy in sync with the master or the upstream project. So to do that, we first you have to create a local copy of your forked clone. So right now you have a fork of the repository, but you don't have the files in that repository on your computer. So let's create a clone of the fork so it's available on the computer. So here in the repository, we've got an option called clone. So click on the clone tab button and copy this link here and click copy. That's what we're going to use to clone the forked copy. Once you've done a copy, open Git Bash and type in, just paste that in to Git Bash and type in Git. Actually, I need to get rid of that. Let me clear the screen. So to clone, you do Git space clone, and then you paste the URL you've copied. Just right click and paste, and it tells you it's cloning. So now it's cloning into this. So this is it gives the name. If you hear, that's the name of the app, the sample project. So it creates a folder with that folder name. So it tells you it's cloning into this. And this is the process. It tells you it's done. It's unpacked 34/34, so it's got all the files. So if you open up your project directory, you should see the cloned copy. So this is a cloned copy. It tells you here where it is cloning into, which is the name of the project. So that's it there. That's the folder. If I open this folder, you should see it's got the same files as the files in the original project. Okay, so that's the same file. So we now have a cloned copy. When you clone a repository or by forking. So when you fork a project, in order for you to propose changes to the original repository, it's a good idea to configure Git to pull changes from the original. The original is also referred to as the upstream repository. So you configure Git so that there should be a sync. So you should be able to sync to the upstream repository into the local one of your fork. So to do that, we need to go back into the Git Bash. So we're going to configure Git to sync the forked copy with the original repository. So to do that, we need to change directory to the forked copy. So this is the directory for my forked copy. So I'll do cd. So I'm already in this directory called my app. So I need to change to the forked copy, which is cd blue lime sample app. So you can see I'm now in the forked copy. So this is the forked copy, which is this one there. So next you type git space remote. I got that wrong. So it's remote space -v and press enter. So it tells you that's the original which was fetched, and it tells you this is the push copy. So you've got the push and the fetch. So if there are any changes, you'll be using the fetch to get the changes, and if you want to push, if you want to send changes, if you make changes, you use the push to update or upload the changes upstream. Next, we're going to add a command. You do git remote space add and type upstream, and then you're gonna have to copy the URL link again from the clone. Copy that, and we'll paste that into here. So you do, after you do a git space remote space add upstream, you paste in that URL in there and press enter. Okay, so we now have something upstream. So to verify the new upstream repository that I've just specified of the fork, you type in git space remote space -v and press enter. All right, so you can see, look at, that's the upstream copy that was just pushed out. So you've got the upstream fetch. The fetch is used to pull down any updates, and the upstream, the push, is used to upload any updates. So one fetches the update, and the other pushes any update up remotely. Upstream being the original project. So if I made a change to a fork copy and I want to send that to the original, I'll be pushing that. However, if I want to get latest updates, I will be using the fetch to pull the updates down. So pull gets update via fetch, while push sends it. So by using the upstream, you can keep your fork copy in sync with the upstream repository. So that's it. This concludes the lecture on forking a repository. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Hello and welcome. In this lecture, I'm going to walk you through the pulling process in Git. When you are working on a project with other programmers or developers, it's possible that they may make changes at different times. So in order to pull those changes to your local repository, you need to use a git pull command. So this is my sample repository here on GitHub. So at the moment, I'm the only one working on it, but I'm going to assume that someone else has started working on it with me and they have made changes, or I'm assuming they may have made changes. So in order to pull those changes to my local repository, I need to use the git space pull command, and if there are any updates, it will pull that down to my local repository. Okay, it's telling me I seem to have had something wrong with my internet connection, and so I had that issue with the pull. So I'm going to try that command again and do git space pull. Hopefully it should be able to contact the remote repository. Click enter. So it tells me already up to date. That means there's nothing to pull down. So the repository is up to date with my local repository. The remote and the local are the same. So that's how you basically initiate a pull request. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.